You know, there's a line between performance and reality. But what happens when that line doesn't just get blurred, it gets completely obliterated? Today, we're looking at a story where a single word led to a fatal, real-world consequence.
It all started with one word. An accusation, really. A word that gets thrown around a lot in this world. Fake.
But the thing is, when that word was used this time, the consequences were anything but fake. They were brutally, tragically real.
So, let's dive into the one event that brought this all to a horrifying head. This is where everything went wrong. And this really breaks it down to its simplest, most brutal elements. On one side, you've got a journalist making a public claim calling the whole sport fake, and on the other side, a 320-pound wrestler's response, a powerbomb that turned out to be lethal. So here are the chilling details. The whole thing went down at a live event. A journalist had been really pushing buttons on social media, challenging the authenticity of the sport. One of the wrestlers he called out was Ted the Butcher. Well, they came face to face, and it ended with that powerbomb. The journalist didn't survive their injuries.
But here's the really disturbing part. As shocking as this is, it's not a one-off. This death is just the latest incident in what looks like a very clear, very violent pattern.
I mean, just look at the last few years. You can see this terrifying escalation. It's almost become this grim, predictable cycle. A journalist pushes, and a wrestler retaliates. Not for the show, but for real.
And when you dig into the specifics, it's just awful. Back in 2020, the Swamp King killed 2 journalists with a chokeslam. The very next year, Mick the Spine Crusher paralyzed someone for life. And then just last year, the Human Meteor killed another with a falling elbow drop. It's a different name, a different move, but always the same tragic ending. So, you have to wonder, how is the wrestling community itself reacting to all this? From the fans all the way up to management, the industry is trying to figure out what to do now.
This quote from a fan really seems to hit the nail on the head, right? There's this sense that some journalists are poking the bear, provoking these performers who live in this world of high-octane physicality, and the results, well, they're becoming tragically predictable.
Officially, the response was pretty swift. The promotion that Ted the Butcher works for, they put out a statement expressing profound regret. They've promised to cooperate fully with the police and suspended the wrestler right away while everything is investigated.
And that really brings us to the core of this whole thing, doesn't it? What happens when the performance stops and the consequences become terrifyingly real? What we're really seeing is this dangerous collision course. You've got provocative journalism on one side and this intense, emotional, physical world on the other. And the fallout, it's not part of the act anymore.
It forces us all to ask some really tough questions. Where do you draw the line? I mean, if your job is to provoke a reaction to get a story, what do you do when that reaction turns fatal?
So at the end of the day, in a world that's built on scripted conflict, the violence has become devastatingly real. And that leaves us with the biggest question of all. Who's really responsible here? The person who delivers the blow? The one who provokes it? Or maybe it's the culture that sits back and watches, just demanding that the show goes on?